We're about 9 months away from release, which is crazy. If you're new here, The Majestic is a narrative driven, open world exploration game where you experience the world through the eyes of an eagle. You'll fly across a large open world, discover objectives, hidden places, gain new powers and abilities, and experience an epic story told through more than 4 hours of cinematics. The game is designed to be relaxing, immersive, and full of discovery. Rather than constantly pushing you from one objective to the next, I want you to be able to slow down, explore the world, and feel immersed within it. And with the main story already implemented, a lot of my development time right now is focused on filling out that world and getting the remaining gameplay finished. So let's take a look at what's been happening over the past month. One of the biggest focuses recently has been completing the remaining optional objectives and activities throughout the world. At this point, I'm getting very close to having all the major gameplay implemented. It's an exciting milestone because it means the game is moving away from adding major systems and toward refinement, balancing, optimization, and polish. Most of the fundamental pieces of the experience are now in place, and recently I've been working on some smaller events that make use of existing systems. One such example is a new herding event. The basic idea is pretty simple. There are sheep wandering around an area, and your goal is to guide them back toward a particular location. Since you're playing as an eagle character, obviously you can't just walk behind them and herd them. So instead, you use some of your abilities to startle them and make them run away from the impact. It's a simple enough event, but because of the lore that I have built into the game, there are several layers. First is creating the story element, which is the intro cinematic and the outro cinematic. Then, because you're essentially playing as an apparition, which is a reincarnated spiritual essence of one of the main characters, your impact on the corporeal realm is limited. So to have an effect on this realm, first your character must phase into the corporeal realm. After that layer is completed, now your abilities will startle the sheep. There was still one hitch that I needed to work out, which involved generating the navigation mesh for the sheep so that they can actually find their way toward their destination. But after a bunch of testing, it's all seemingly working quite well now. There was quite a bit of tweaking involved, but eventually I got it behaving pretty reliably. And I like activities like this because they're relatively simple to understand, but they give you another way to interact with the world and feel immersed within it. Rather than creating an entirely new mechanic that only exists for one objective, I'm trying to find different ways to use the systems that are already part of the game. So for this herding system, I intend to reuse it in another spot where instead of herding, you'll be chasing something from a desired area. It's basically the same mechanic, just a reversed goal. This way, all the effort that went into this isn't just for one small optional thing. Another event I've started working on involves a new creature, something different than what's already in the game. It's to incorporate a large whale into the ocean. There's currently a lack of sea life implemented, so if this goes well, perhaps I'll implement some other sea life. So what I did is I found this really good whale asset on the asset store, and the first thing I did was I had to customize it so that it would align with every other creature in the game. I removed all of the materials, I gave it the effects, and I adapted it for player interaction. With every other creature in the game, there is this ability to befriend them, which gains a boost of essence for your character. Essence is a main resource in the game. I thought for this giant whale that I could do it somewhat differently. The character can already catch fish, so I figure you can catch some fish, bring some of them to the whale, and feed it. It's another really simple interaction, and while I was implementing it, I thought of another gameplay possibility. Feed it enough times, and eventually it'll give you something much more valuable, a resource that permanently improves your character's power. Now, fish will have a dual purpose. Eat them yourself for a boost of essence, or feed them to the whale for a greater reward. Suddenly, something that was previously just a small interaction now has become its own little gameplay loop. These kinds of connections help make the world feel more reactive and create some emergent gameplay without needing to introduce an entirely new system every time. At this stage, I'm not trying to dramatically expand the scope of the game. Outside of gameplay, production on the other major parts of the game continue as well. VoiceOver has been making a lot of progress. The Majestic has a pretty substantial amount of dialogue because of the size of the story, and hearing these characters finally come to life has been one of the most rewarding parts of development. A lot of the voice work is now complete or in progress. I've been going through the audio files, finding the best takes, and preparing for implementation within the game. After spending years working with these scenes primarily as the writer, developer, and cinematic artist, hearing the finished performances finally bring these scenes to life is always an amazing feeling. The original soundtrack is also now taking form. Music is incredibly important to the game, because so much of the experience is built around atmosphere and emotion. There are peaceful moments of exploration, moments of discovery, and then much larger, dramatic, and emotional sequences throughout the story. Hugh has been working his magic and has started to share some of his work with me. It's not quite ready yet, it's still in its infancy, but getting to hear the musical identity of the Majestic beginning to emerge has been really exciting. Another major focus right now is preparing the Majestic for people to actually experience. I'm currently working toward getting a demo completed while also putting together a new trailer. I would say the demo is my major focus right now because I want it to feel finished. I want optimal performance, music, voiceover, everything. I want the demo to have the level of final polish that you could expect from the finished game. There's still plenty of work ahead, but after spending years building this game, it's exciting to finally see all the different pieces coming together at the same time. If you've been following development for a while, thank you for continuing to follow along, and if this is your first time seeing the Majestic, welcome. I'll have much more to show as development continues and we get closer to release. If you'd like to support the project, the best thing you can do right now is follow the Kickstarter campaign. It's intended to help fund these final stages of development and bring the Majestic across the finish line. Just head to the link and press the notify button. It really does help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next month.